Okay, less than 24 hours to go. We're holding the trend line, and in less than 24 hours, Jerome Powell speaks at Jackson Hole. That is what everybody's waiting for. But if you look a little bit closer, you can actually see that the move is imminent. And I'm also going to show you today. I'm going to show you one of the biggest and most successful investors in crypto. They've called the bottom, and they've got some amazing other insights. So it's going to be a big show. Lots to talk about today. Even though it feels boring, it's actually not boring. There's a lot going on which we need to cover. So let's do this. Welcome back, guys. I'm here, bring you crypto love and crypto wisdom. I'm not feeling great today, but I'm still here. So that's the main thing. What you got to do, subscribe to the channel, and of course, like this content, because that gets the algorithm to tell the world that this is good content and that we are bringing you amazing crypto love and amazing crypto wisdom, even though we feel shit, even on the days when we feel shit. So Sheldon's not back yet, but he's been trading. He's been trading, right? Yeah. You saw today. This was the standings in the competition earlier. So let me know what you think, okay? So let me know what you think. Who's that? 16.82% up in 233rd place. Who's that in 23rd place with 113.98%? That's Fred with 9.35%. And who's that? Who could that be? That's still on zero. Who could that be? I wonder who could that be? Who could that be?
Kyle.
It could be Carl Dupes. It could be Carl Dupes. I never accepted Sheldon's bet. No, I don't know if I should accept Sheldon's bet because. So here's where we stand. Okay, so this is me. That's Sheldino. He says he's sick, but you can see that he's home trading. Fred and Dupes. Dupes paralyzed. Hasn't taken a trade yet. You don't have a week. The competition ends in. Oh, you see, I'm dropped now. Obviously, the market's dropped. The competition ends in 7 days, bro. The competition ends in 7 days. I see there's 2,482 of you. Maybe let's just refresh this. Maybe more of you have joined. If you want to join, you still got 7 days to win. You can win with one trade. All you need to do is take a lot of leverage. I don't recommend you take a lot of leverage though. You just click the link below. What is this? And why is it on our channel? Okay, so what you can do is you just click on this link over here, and that'll take you to the competition. We need we need to get 17 more people till we get to 2,500, and then it basically increases the prize money for everyone to this category over here. So you're probably not going to get over 5,000 people, but we can get the rest. Alrighty, so that's that for today. Lots to talk about today, including one of the biggest investors, the most successful investors in the world, saying that they think we've seen the Bitcoin bottom. And when they talk, let me tell you, I listen. I'll tell you who it is. I'll show you why they think we've seen the bottom. And I'll also show you where they think you should be investing. So that's an amazing thing. We're going to talk about Tornado Cash. We're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to talk about some shitcoins. We're going to talk about DogeChain because a lot of controversy on DogeChain. Lots to do. But let's start in the beginning as usual. Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's look at where we're at. It looks like we're still holding this trend line, but if you go into the hourly chart, this is where you might get a couple of clues, a couple of hints. That looks amazing. The hourly chart looks fantastic. No, but if you do go into the hourly chart and you do get out your drawing tools and you start drawing kind of like where we're at, so it looks something like that. Excuse my drawings on these screens, but it looks something like that. And that tells you that we're in a symmetrical triangle and that we should get a move pretty soon. I reckon there's probably in the next 10 to 12 hours, we must have a move. So that would be a little bit too much. And that's exactly, we got Jerome Powell speaking tomorrow morning. So that's what's happening here in Bitcoin. On the Dixie, a lot of people are talking about a double top. So the two options here is either this is a double top, one top, two tops, and we're going to break down. Usually double tops break down. Or this is a high, and this breaks up and actually makes a higher high. Dupes thinks this is a higher high. You think on the Dixie?
It's closed higher, yeah.
I mean, it's closed higher, but where do you count the wick, bro?
No, I counted the close.
You counted the close. Okay. So if you count the close, it is a higher high. This chart will also move tomorrow based on what Powell says at Jackson Hole. The Nasdaq pretty much doing nothing. Back at 13,000, pretty much doing nothing. Waiting for some direction. So that's kind of where we are in the market. Everybody waiting for Powell to come out tomorrow at Jackson Hole and talk about the economy. And when he does talk about the economy, it's going to be backed with data. And if you look at what the data says, the data is kind of on our side. So if you look at the data, so let me quickly get you some data. You know what's funny is I would say that everything's fine and that we may actually break up. Problem is that Jim Cramer says expects the June market lows to hold and mark the bottom. And so when you see that, you got to know that there's still a bottom to come. I mean, I don't believe it, but let's see. So Powell will be looking at the data tomorrow. Let's look at the data that he actually has to look at if he is making decisions based on data. One, we've got a technical recession in place. That's for sure. We've got the producer price index, or the PMI, also crashed in August. You've got housing recession started, as prices have started to go down, and CPI coming down for 2 consecutive months, which technically puts the US in a recession. But there is one more piece of data that comes out, and that piece of data comes out tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. We are going to be live a little bit later. We're going to be live at 10 a.m. Eastern time, which would have been the same time as the Friday Banter. We're going to do a live crossover to Jackson Hole, where Powell's going to be speaking. So by that time, we'll have the data. We'll have a viewing party together. What I recommend is pack yourself some popcorn, a whiskey, and a Xanax. And based on how Powell speaks, we'll decide when we're going to take each one of those little goodies in the bag. If you don't have Xanax, let me show you where you can get it from. So this guy over here, he sells Xanax. How much is Xanax? James, how much is a Xanax?
I'm no longer involved in such things. I'm a new man.
Oh, were you once involved? Guys, someone said...
I'm an equity holder, actually. I'm
Not
told
yet.
that I'm an equity holder now.
I said not yet. Someone says YouTube really doesn't like us. It doesn't. Help me in the comments. Give us a positive comment. Give us a like, and that way YouTube will like us again. YouTube doesn't like us. Shadow bans our show every single day. Terrible how they do it. All right, let's look at this investor, this huge investor that has actually called the bottom. And that huge investor is none other than, of course, Pantera. So Pantera published their newsletter, and I think it's one of the most insightful newsletters that I read in crypto, and I read it pretty religiously. But I want to show you. So let's just, that is the newsletter. I think it comes out monthly, if I'm not mistaken. They're talking about Ethereum in this newsletter. The whole newsletter is about Ethereum, or the majority of it is around Ethereum, and around how the supply of Ethereum gets slashed when the merge happens. And that's really the biggest part of the merge. So anyone that's expecting gas fees to go down or Ethereum to become much faster, that's not this part. But we are getting a huge supply slashing of Ethereum this month when we get the merge. But more important than that, if you keep reading in this newsletter, I want to quickly scroll down and show you the parts that I think were really, really good. So, I mean, one part you could say is the ETH issuance is reduced by 90%, and ETH is likely to become a deflationary asset. So that's what's happening. Moving to proof of stake will have major impact on Ethereum sustainability and an estimated reduction in energy consumption by 99.5%. And it shows how we're going to reduce the supply of Ethereum. Now, we've discussed that many times, but this is the part where I found something pretty interesting. And yeah, let's go down to the bottom. Let's talk about the bottom first. So the first part is that they say Pantera has been through 9 years of Bitcoin cycles, and I've traded through 35 years of similar cycles. I strongly believe that we've seen the lows for crypto. The declines from November 2021, that was 69,000, to June 2022 was spot on the typical cycle. We're done with that and beginning to grind higher. So they're calling a bottom. They say, if you look at their bottoms, there is something here that does become a little bit depressing. But the good part is, first, they're saying, look, we've called the bottom. Why have they called the bottom? Because what they've done is they've got this table over here, which shows the price declines of all bull and of all bear markets. And you can see it's like 68%, 83%, 84%, 61%, 54%. They're saying the median, or the weighted median, is 66%. And now we're 74% down. And for them, that's enough for them to call a bottom. So that's pretty cool. The other thing which I noticed here in the numbers is they show the price increase every time after the bottom. So from the time we've hit the bottom, what is the price increase to the top? And the first time it was 100x plus, second time it was 16x, third time it was 106x. But look at the more recent ones, 4x, 13x, 2x, 1x, which kind of shows you that you're not going to get the major returns on Bitcoin anymore, because the days of outsized returns happened much earlier in the cycle. And now we're coming back towards normality. So we were getting 100x's and 106x's and stuff like that. And you can see as time goes by and as the asset becomes much more adopted, we're getting 1x returns and 4x returns and 2x returns. And we are getting much more adopted. So if you look at where we are with Bitcoin, there was a great milestone that was hit this week. And that is that $100 trillion has passed through the Bitcoin network since inception. I mean, that is, imagine that, $100 trillion has passed through the Bitcoin network since its inception. And what we're seeing here is we're seeing that the network is growing exponentially. Wallet sizes that have more than one Bitcoin is almost 900,000 them. Soon there'll be 1 million wallets that have one Bitcoin. That means that 1 million wallets will have one Bitcoin, and those wallets typically have more than one Bitcoin, which means that we're really going to get into supply crunch. So that was the first part that I think we should take out, or the first two parts that I think we should take out of the Pantera newsletter. He did say something else, which I loved. So I think it came from a interview with Raoul Pal, and I want to show you what he says. He says the best time to buy is when people are predicting how the next 50% downdraft is going to happen. That would have been really useful at 65,000. Nobody was saying that. Instead, everybody was massively bullish. Now we're at 20,000. People are like, we have another 50% to go. Not really people. It's Al Capo and Kyle. So it's not really lots of people, just Al Capo and Kyle. So we have another 50% to go. That's the best time to buy when everyone's now an expert on bear markets. That's a great sign that it's time. So that's the first thing. That's one of the other things that he said. He also said massive public pension funds, endowments are getting in. This is actually a great time because they've spent 4 or 5 years working through all their diligence, the investment committees educating their trustees. They finally got the yes, and now everything's pulled back. It's actually a lot cheaper and probably an amazing time to buy. He also says that he looked at DeFi and NFTs. He says DeFi is incredibly cheap right now. And I think that I agree with him that DeFi is out of favor and incredibly cheap right now. And if you dig deeper into the newsletter, one thing that came out of the newsletter is that during this whole collapse, we saw that DeFi actually worked and CeFi didn't actually work. So what they said is, if you scroll through that, this whole thing, it says DeFi worked great. If you look at the DeFi, if you look at what's different about DeFi, the main thing is how it worked. It's just much faster at liquidating people. DeFi has simple liquidation mechanisms versus CeFi companies. CeFi mechanisms don't work that way. They didn't work that way, and that's why we are where we are. So that's the Pantera newsletter, and that's they're calling a bottom. And I think, as I said before, someone says, "Are we blurry?" We're not blurry anymore. We were blurry. It's all good. As I said before, I think we've seen the bottom. Maybe we'll go a little bit more down, but I don't think we're going to get another 50% down. I may be wrong, but if I'm wrong, it just means that I'm going to hold my quality assets a little bit longer. And that should be your mindset. Because what he also said in the stream, in the thing is, I've got to read this to you. Hold on. I've got to find this and I've got to read it to you. Hold on. Have to find this part for you, because he says, okay, what is the most stupid mistake you've made when investing in crypto? Honestly, selling anything. There's a ton of things I wish I'd bought or regret not doing, but the only deep regrets are ever selling anything. So he's saying his biggest regrets are actually not buying stuff, but actually selling stuff, and maybe even selling stuff too soon. This is a company which was rumored to buy Luna at the ICO at around 7 cents or something like that, or even before that, and to sell it close to $100. So I don't know. That's what he says. All right, so that's that. I think I agree with him. Remember, tomorrow, big day. We've got the PCE, which is the personal consumption expenditure. That's coming out tomorrow. We want to see a top in this. I'm not sure if we will see a top. There's not even a forecast yet. I think it'll be marginally down, but not down enough to get the markets to celebrate. Either way, Powell speaks afterwards at Jackson Hole. As I said to you, he's going to base his talk on data. The data looks fine. We spoke about the data earlier. I don't think we're going to get any surprises. One of the ladies Esther George from the Fed, she's the president of the Fed, spoke about whether there's going to be a 50% basis point rate hike or a 75 basis point rate hike. You tell me what you make out of her interview answer.
I don't hear anything. No sound.
You can't hear?
Yeah.
I hear it. You can't hear it?
No.
Oh, okay. No? No sound?
No.
Very interesting. I'm not sure why we're not getting sound. We should be getting sound.
I'll actually retweet it.
Okay. I hope there's not the video. Can you hear this? Okay, let's try this. Can you hear the sound here?
You must put it on the screen.
No sound? Okay, so no sound feeding through the soundboard. Amazing. Okay, so.
Luckily, we can hear you.
Okay, great. At least, as long as you can hear me, sound right. I'm sure it's Jimmy, and I'm sure Jimmy's done something with his settings, because Jimmy's got these hands where he does stuff with the settings. Let's try to do this. Hold on. Let's try to do this. Hold on. Okay, let's try to do this. Is there sound now? Let's try this. No sound.
You meant to put that thing on the
Okay,
screen.
it doesn't work.
Up on your laptop.
All right, there's no sound. There's no sound. Okay. All right, let's go to the next story. Is there sound now? Now there's sound. Okay. Jimmy, what have you done to the soundboard? I don't even know what they're talking about. All right, let's talk about some other stories in the news. We've got to sack Jimmy. The developer that was arrested in Holland for Tornado Cash has to spend another 90 days in jail. He was denied bail, and now he has to spend another at least 90 days in jail for creating listen to this, in concealing criminal financial flows and facilitating money laundering. Can you believe that that's the charge that the poor guy's on for working with open source software? Now, remember, we had Tom Emmer, who's a congressman, write a letter to Janet Yellen. That's the first thing. And now we're having a protest outside the court. Problem is, this is exactly what I was worried about. This is exactly what I was worried about. I was worried that Tornado Cash was too small to get any meaningful momentum in terms of a protest. And if you look at the protest, that's the protest. It just looks like a bunch of geeks, right? It just looks like a bunch of geeks protesting, right? That's the problem. It's not big enough. It's just not, in my opinion, not big enough to get... Yeah, so that's unfortunately what they look like. Some very, very, very clever signs out there. I saw one here: open source is not a crime. Will you arrest a knife maker for facilitating a stabbing? It's exactly the same thing. So unfortunately, he's still in jail for 90 days. But one good thing did come out of it is that Tether said that they're not going to freeze any Tornado Cash addresses, unlike USDC. So that's a good thing. But remember that Tether have banned a lot more addresses in the past, mainly from from hacks, mainly from geeks. Well, it is usually geeks that hack. Okay. All right. Also, we had the launch of DogeChain, which is the meme chain that is built on Polygon, which for those of you, which you can use your Dogecoin as gas to pay the gas fees. Let's look at where it's at. So right now it's trading at 9.5 cents. And I remember I said to you yesterday, don't buy this thing when it launches, because if you did buy this thing when it launches, you were retail. You were the ones who got wrecked. And I still think that even now at $1 billion fully diluted market cap, you see what they're trying to do here is they're trying to sucker retail investors. And you got to see this. Okay, so let me quickly call this up so you can see it. DogeChain. There we go. So it's trading at a fully diluted valuation of $1 billion. Okay, I'm going to show you in a few seconds what else is trading at about $1 billion. That for me is it's way, way, way too high. And they cheat retail investors, not cheat, but they scam retail investors by releasing a very small supply of the tokens. Only 5 billion tokens have been released out of the 1 trillion. And so it makes it look like it's got a very low market cap, but it actually doesn't, because the fully diluted market cap is $1 billion. Now, I don't know if I'm buying this chain for $1 billion just yet. So let it get some traction, and then we can talk about buying this chain for $1 billion. I do think that maybe there is a value in a chain that uses Dogecoin as its gas. I do think so. but I don't think that we should be paying $1 billion valuation for it. Also, we had, I'm not going to say shady business, but I'm going to say questionable business going on. An address got 1 billion tokens, selling 2 million at a time. So quite a big airdrop, and you got to ask yourself, how did they get this airdrop? And then this on-chain wizard says a trail of some DogeChain fuckery and deploys 3 contracts, mints $1 trillion. And then he shows about how this account starts selling DogeChain. ZachXBT, also the sleuth, he follows up 20 billion tokens for free ties directly to back the deployer, and has already started dumping on people. So stay out of this for now until the market comes down. I think it's going to come way, way, way further down than $1 billion fully diluted market cap, but we've got to wait for the tokens to get into the market, because right now there's very few tokens in the market. And if you end up buying that, you're going to get drowned in token releases over the next couple of days. So stay out. You've been warned. Not for long term. Long term, as I said, I think this thing could work. But short term, don't get caught in tokenomics. You're smarter than that. All right, let's talk about the thumbnail. This thumbnail over here. Okay, so this is around Sam Bankman-Fried's partner, one of the founders of Alameda Research. His name is Sam Trabucco. Now, he's one of the founders of FTX, one of the founders of Alameda Research, but not someone that is in the media as much as Sam Bankman-Fried. In fact, if you try and Google his picture, the only picture you'll find is this picture over here, which we've put on here. And he's exiting. He's decided that he's out. And you got to ask yourself a whole lot of questions as to why he's out. So first of all, who is this guy? Well, he's been at Alameda Research for 3 years and 6 months, which is kind of like when Alameda Research started. Before that, he was a trader and he's also a software developer. Okay, so that's pretty much who the guy is. He published this tweet. He said, unhappiness last year when SBF announced that Caroline and I were Alameda's co-CEOs, the goal for all involved was to bring titles in line with reality. The two of us had been acting as CEOs for quite some time. We wanted our outside image to reflect that. It is with the same goal that I'm announcing today that I'm stepping down as co-CEO of Alameda Research. Caroline will continue as Alameda's CEO. I will stay on as an advisor, but otherwise not continue day-to-day presence at the company. That's cool. It says, over the past few months, I've reduced my role at Alameda. This happened gradually and most recently involved a lot of time not really working at all. For this reason, I can't personally continue to justify the time investment of being a central part of Alameda. Everyone works really hard here, and spending a normal amount of time at the office is tricky, especially when you're trying to be a leader. So he says he loved working at Alameda Research, but he says he's reached a point in his life where he wants to prioritize other things. What other things? Lately, I've been really happy, spending a lot of time traveling, visiting friends and family, working on myself and whatnot. I also bought a boat. I mean, he could have said I bought a yacht, because he didn't buy a boat. He bought a yacht. That's been cool. I needed to relax, and I'm really happy. So Sam Trabucco is actually stepping out of Alameda Research. Now, you got to ask yourself whether he's stepping out because of what he said or because of other reasons. And if it is other reasons, well, remember that FTX were pretty much really accused of creating this ST-ETH and depegging, which eventually led to Celsius collapsing and many of the other lenders collapsing. And then FTX or Alameda swooped in and offered them bailout packages. Remember also when Luna, when UST collapsed, there were a whole lot of rumors that they were the ones who started the depeg of Luna, of UST. Now, I'm not saying that they were. I'm just saying there were a whole lot of rumors. So you got to ask yourself a question. When he resigned or when he's leaving, why is he leaving? Is he leaving because he's really just tapped out? Is he leaving because he's made too much money and now he's just going to go chill on his yacht, on his boat? Sorry, boat. He said yacht. I said boat. He said boat. I said yacht. Same, but slightly different. Or is it something else? I mean, and if it is something else, I mean, this was from Fat Pantera. I don't know how much you can trust this guy. He says a verified source has confirmed that FTX's PR firm, M Group Communications, have been contacted to release negative media articles about competitor exchange Binance. High journalists are given a black book of anti-Binance contacts and references for research. So I don't know. I mean, you got to ask yourself, why is he leaving? I don't know if I believe that, and I don't know if I believe what Fat Pantera says. Again. What else? Not what else. There's a lot going on. Let's talk about it. There's the ETH merge happening, and yesterday we got communication from Ethereum, from Joseph Schweitzer. Joseph Schweitzer is the communication guy at Ethereum, and he says that the upgrade is scheduled, the Bellatrix upgrade. So it's going to happen in 2 parts. So the Bellatrix upgrade is scheduled for Epoch 144896 on the Beacon chain. Bang. And so let me show it to you visually. This is what the ETH merge looks like. They're going to do the Bellatrix upgrade and the Paris upgrade, and then they're going to wait for 12 minutes, and then proof of work should be out of the way, and then we're going to have proof of stake. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the proof of work chain is going to continue to mine alongside the proof of stake side, and we're going to get the 2 things. But be that as it may, we're now got a date. The date is September 6th at 11:34 and 47 seconds UTC is when they're going to implement this Bellatrix section, and then rock and roll. 19 days to go until the ETH merge, until ETH becomes deflationary. And I saw this tweet from Udi Wertheimer. He says, one day after ETH merge, Apple will release iOS 16. You probably think that this is of no significance, but you're wrong, because iOS 16 introduces passkeys, new tech that will kill passwords on websites and will also obsolete the data of Web3, the idea of Web3 authentication. I don't know what he means there, but okay, good for him. Then we've got Coinbase, which released liquid staking. So liquid staking means that you give them your ETH, they deposit your ETH into the validator nodes, and you get a liquid staking token. Now, this is crazy because liquid staking tokens can be perceived as securities in the United States. And Coinbase doing this when they know that the SEC is on their back is crazy, because I mean, there's nothing that says security more than a token that represents your ownership in another token, and the other token is yield generating and moves up and down with the market. So to me, it's a gray area, and I think the SEC will definitely come for them. What we also got here was we now understand that 14.7% of all the staked ETH is owned by Coinbase. And if 14.7% of all the staked ETH is owned by Coinbase, that means that 14.7% of the validators are also owned by Coinbase. And now we come back to the centralization problem. So yeah, that's that. Also what I saw, BitBoy dropped his court case against Atozi. I think, to be honest, poor guy, I think it just blew up in his face. I think, I'm not going to condone what Atozi did, because I think it was on the border of being, I don't know if it was illegal, unethical, I don't know. But I think BitBoy picked a fight with the wrong guy, because Atozi was a soft target and BitBoy tried to bully him. And I back BitBoy for standing up to himself. But I think suing someone for 75,000 is a little bit ridiculous. And so eventually what he said, and I don't know if you guys can hear this, but let's try one more time and see if you guys can hear. Nothing. No, it's going to do with laptop volume. All right, so he's dropped the case. BitBoy's dropped the case. So that chapter finished. I did see this on Polkadot. Remember, with Polkadot, you have to stake your tokens to win the right to become a parachain. So you get people to stake tokens, loan tokens to you, and they win the right to become a parachain, right? Now, the one problem that I had with Polkadot is that the idea, in a world where there's so much layer 1 power, the idea to charge people a stake to run their parachains just seemed a little bit offsides. And now you're seeing that what I said actually is playing out, because in the first couple of auctions, Akala staked $32.5 million, $1.6 billion to become a parachain. Moonbeam staked $1.3 billion to become a parachain. And in the last auction, I remember there's going to be 100 parachains. In the last auction, Darwinia won with 150 DOT, which is like nothing. Yeah. It just shows you the whole hype of the parachains completely died down, which is unfortunate, because I think that the idea is good, but I think getting people to pay to become parachains isn't going to work. It's just not going to work. NVIDIA misses Q2 earnings. I mean, they talk about gaming revenues plunging, and I think I agree with him, but I think the one part that they haven't accounted for here is that GPU mining revenues have plummeted completely. And that's probably what brought down the earnings a lot. But they never mentioned it once in the earnings report, which is strange. Nothing. Not at all. This is very big. Avishal from Electric Capital got a whole set of new advisors on their fund, which is a crypto fund, right? And one of the advisors is Jay Clayton, who's the ex-SEC chair. And so you can see that they really muscling up, getting, if you're getting the ex-SEC chair, Jay Clayton, it's like getting Gary Gensler on the board of a crypto fund. I mean, we never ever think that can happen, but Avishal's done it. And I think next time that he comes on Banter, we'll actually quiz him about that. Something's happening here on EVMOS. EVMOS, for those of you who don't know, is the EVM compatible chain on Cosmos. Now, we've been watching it, and you can see that something's happening because in the last couple of days, it's gone from 147 and it's now at 283. So it's 2x. And I think there may be some more upside here. You see that the fully diluted market cap is also under $1 billion. So now you're going to make a call. Where are you going to put your money? Into DogeChain or into EVM on Cosmos? Yeah. Staking APR is amazing. I agree. Staking APR on EVMOS is super amazing. Let's see if we can actually see it here. I don't think we can see it here, but let's have a look. I did want to show you something. I did want to show you a video around school because I think it's time for us to get the new intake of people from school. So if you know anybody that wants to go to crypto school for free, we are recruiting our next class at crypto school. Now it's a face-to-face learning. When I say face-to-face learning, it's on a Zoom type system. I want to actually show you some photos of our last one. It's super fun. Super, super fun. Let's have a look here. See if I've got a photo for you guys. Here we go. So look at that. That's what it looks like when we go and we have crypto school. It's a very simple course, which really takes everyone through the basics of crypto. So it starts off with networks, decentralization, the history of money. Then it goes into Bitcoin and blockchain, how to use a wallet, how to use an exchange, Ethereum, DeFi, NFTs. And then we go into altcoins, security, and actually building a portfolio. So that's what it is. It's really basic. It's fun, simple, credible crypto. If you know anybody that wants to get involved, now's a great time. Now's a great time to get involved. There's a link over here. Click on that link. We did a class with 100 people. It was amazing. We did a class with 500 people. It was amazing. And now we're going to do a class with 2,500 people. And once we do that, we're going to work our way up to get 1 million people into crypto school for free. So for free, and you actually get paid to learn. So if you know anybody who wants to sign up, go and sign up using that referral link. Okay, hold on a second. I'm trying to get you guys. You can't hear BitBoy, right?
No.
You can't hear it. It's a pity. I wanted to show you guys some lessons, but I guess I'm going to show it to you guys tomorrow. All right, let's quickly look at the trading competition. Where am I? How am I doing? Okay, so 10% up. Not bad. I'm 10% up. I'm still in 300th place. My 2 positions that I've got open, same 2 positions from yesterday. I didn't buy Curve. The reason why I didn't buy Curve is because it had too much of a run. And so my long positions are still Rune and Nia. Sheldon, I think, was still long Phantom. Guys, there are 7 days left if you want to trade with us. There is, if you look here, so there is this guy in the front. He's got 431%. Now, as I said yesterday, the best strategy for him is not to trade anymore. Problem is that now this guy's catching up to him. So he's got 352%. He's catching up to him. And this guy, it's like these guys are very close now. So unless you have like a big trade, it's very hard to get to 431%. You got to go very, very, very high leverage.
So that guy that was at 900%,
he didn't wipe because he went too much. That's the problem. People are saying I'm going to eat fish, but I didn't bet Sheldon. I did not agree. I did not agree, and I won't agree because now the guy's in the lead by so much. I heard Fred is creeping into the top 100. I wonder who put that comment up. It's a pity. I did want to show you some more videos, but we're not getting video sound here. So I agree. Jimmy must be fired immediately for all this. Terrible. All right, guys. I will see you guys again tomorrow. We'll watch Jackson Hole together. We will have a whiskey, a popcorn, and a Xanax, and we will take whichever one is the one that we need. Let me know in the comments after the show, in the comments, whether you think the market will go up or down. See you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends, especially Kyle. Trade well means having to put through the trade, not just sitting on your hands. You actually have, it's about to execute. Is it in the Discord? By the way, hold on, guys. By the way, there is a Discord. Remember, we terminated our relationship with CoinPanel. Well, there is a link to our Discord over here. You just click, and you go straight to our Discord, and all the charts become free. There's 10,000 members already. Wow, that's huge. All the charts free in this Discord group as they happen, when they happen in the Discord group. Love you guys, madly. See you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun, trade well, and let's fire Jimmy after the show. Working. But why? Let's go. Let's do the level.